Hi YouTube. Ever wonder what happens when you really prioritize sleep? Imagine waking up not only rested, but also sharp and focused. A better mood, a higher immune system, better recovery from workouts, and a better recovery from nights out drinking. These are all things that I experienced during my week trying to prioritize my sleep. So my main approach to maximize my sleep is to try and get at least 10 hours in at night. So the disclaimer here is that I might not fall asleep right away, and also that I wake up a couple of times in the middle of the night. But I think that's also normal for me in my normal sleeping schedule. So I am significantly increasing the hours of bedtime, let's say. I will also try to do an afternoon nap. And I will try to do that on the days that I am working from home. But I will also try to see what the options are at my office, if there are any dedicated resting spaces that I could use to take a nap, or what potentially other colleagues might be doing. So I will try to open that discussion at work as well and see where it leads us. Hey, so we have this kind of recharge room here, which has a booth, two booths actually, to sit in and relax, and one kind of couch. I tried to sleep here a little bit to recharge, but I have to say it's not very comfortable. It's also pretty bright, and I think intentionally they made it so that people would not sleep, but just to sit and be away from the noise. Um, so far, I tried to lay down here with my eyes closed for about 15 minutes, which is fine, but I will find a different place to really take a nap. Maybe somewhere else. Let's see. So, here we are again. Wanted to give a short update on how I am basically setting up my sleep to be more ideal. There are a couple of things. So you have the 3-2-1 rule. I think from Matthew Walker, at least he pointed it out in the masterclass, I believe. So 3 hours before you go to bed, you stop eating. 2 hours before you go to bed, you stop drinking. And 1 hour before you stop looking at the screen. Okay, that the last part is a bit tricky. But I did do the eating part. It's now almost 10, so I will sleep very early, and I will try to sleep until 8, so to get like a full 10 hours of sleep. Um, I could do it already for one night for a pretty long time. And I also tried to take a nap at work. Interestingly, it was a bit tricky to find a good place to sleep. But then I opened up the conversation to some colleagues, and I got some very interesting advice on different spots other than the relaxation room that we have to be places to sleep. So I will check that out the coming days to really maximize my sleep. I don't want to say optimize because I think there's also an upper limit, probably. But maximize. Let's see how much we can sleep in a day. So this room, I've also tried to cool down a lot. So I opened the balcony door before I came in. I guess it's now a bit chilly, like 17 degrees, maybe 16 degrees. And then I will also burn some sage and sandalwood to, yeah, basically it helps to calm you down or something like that. All right, guys, see you tomorrow. So I know that this was maybe a bit quick, so I wanted to give a summary of the three techniques that I used to get the best nights of sleep in the past week. The first rule was the 3-2-1 rule, where 3 hours before you go to bed, you stop eating, 2 hours before you stop drinking, and 1 hour before bedtime, you stop looking at the screen. The second technique is actually related to creating the ideal temperature. According to most sources, the ideal temperature is around 19 degrees Celsius, but make sure that you are still warm enough under the blanket so that you don't wake up in the middle of the night. And for supplements, I'm not using any real supplements. However, I have been burning sage and sandalwood in my bedroom in order to calm me more down. And I also tried drinking chamomile tea, which also has a similar function. However, it was a bit tricky because I also didn't want to drink close before going to bed. Otherwise, that would conflict with the first technique. So in summary, I can really say that there are a couple of really beneficial effects to sleeping longer, especially if I contrast that to the less sleep week that I had previously, where I could, for instance, feel that my willpower was really drained. Now I felt that my willpower was at its max level. So I could make myself do a lot of hard things, even until kind of late in the night. And I also realized a thing that I think Matthew Walker mentioned in his masterclass on sleep, that you cannot really catch up on sleep, but you can kind of prep it. So if you sleep more before a night that you know you will have little sleep, it actually compensates. But it's not the case that if you lost the sleep, you can catch it up later. Sleep refills the battery. Being awake drains it. Being awake too long can damage the brain. And catching up sleep can never recover the damage done. But if you stack sleep before sleeping less, the damaging effect of sleeping less can be diverted. We had a Christmas drinks from work, and in the end, yeah, I had some beers and we went to bed at like 2:30 or something. But I could recover from that really, really well, like surprisingly well. I was almost not affected. And I think that that is really due to the fact that I had so much rest already before. Like my body was completely rested. So it's not a matter of catching up on sleep, but it's preparing yourself. If you know you will have a day or a night where you will not be able to sleep a lot, try to sleep extra the night before instead of trying to catch up the night after. I also realized that my recovery from workouts was really, really good. I just could do pretty hard workouts, felt sore, but also saw that that soreness went away very fast. If you want to learn a little bit more about sleep, I can definitely recommend that masterclass from Matthew Walker. I think people who are into this topic can really enjoy it. A couple of things that I tried to take in were this 3-2-1 rule, and also other things like burn some sage before you go to bed to kind of bring your mind to rest. I would say now that I've done like the really extreme low hours of sleep case and the extreme high hours of sleep, I don't think that I'm necessarily ready to say something about the optimized number of hours to sleep or the optimized routine even. But I do think that it is a good starting point. So I know what the extremes are, and now we'll try to find where they meet and what works best for me. But I think for that, also to have a really fair comparison, I will need to take a bit more time. So this will be a kind of ongoing project over the next coming weeks, maybe months, to try and find out where's really the optimum for me and which kind of tricks I could implement. So I see that in the future, I will probably get back to this topic, coming with like my optimized sleep protocol. So there's also another thing that I would quickly want to mention. I have been working on this series for a couple of episodes now, and I will continue doing that. So the main layout of the series is that there is some personal development or improvement advice somewhere out there, or maybe something that I collected in my mind that I want to try out and put into practice for 1 week. And I will keep doing this series because I think it's nice to really give that practical element to a lot of theoretical stuff. But there are 2 more series that I want to start with. One of them will be a kind of interview series where I want to interview people from different careers and different educational backgrounds and see how they experience their work-life balance. What is the structure in their company? Or maybe if they're a one-man company, how do they fill their work day? And I think this will be very interesting, especially for people who are just starting off or maybe who are looking to make a career switch. Sometimes if you're only talking with colleagues in your own company, you might feel pretty isolated, and you also might feel that the way that things work in your company is the way that things work. And the second series that I want to start is a bit more philosophical, maybe. I want to compare human psychology with the 12 Greek gods, the main gods from the Greek pantheon. I know that there's a lot of work already done on that, but I really like that idea, and I think that specifically me doing some research on it and trying to explain it in my own words can bring me a lot of insight, and I hope for you guys as well. And I really like to dive into ancient mythology and look at the symbolism and the myths and try to see how you can give that a place in a modern day experience. All right, this was it for today, guys. Thanks for watching and listening. I hope it was useful to you, and I hope you have a great day.